What's the best type of meat? What's the best flavor of Pringles? And can eggs really go with anything? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus, and today is a very special episode because joining me for his hump thing time, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the Toddcast a regular, a friend, and probably one of the best guests that we've ever had. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jaron Parks. Jaron, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic as always, same old thing.
Just another 10 weeks have gone by.
That's right.
First off, how are you liking the cold weather?
I love the cold weather. This is my element. I don't know why. I was born in Louisiana. I would much rather be living in Canada right now.
Oh, you're like a Minnesota, Montana
Yeah.
wave and like Alaska.
Yeah, like I want to go to a Buffalo Bills football game, which I don't know if you know anything about that, but just for instance, this week they canceled where they're playing their game in Buffalo because they're supposed to be getting like 5 feet of snow.
So, yeah, you can't play a football game in a blizzard.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny, though, if they got like 2 feet of snow on the field and then still try to play in it.
There was Central Michigan and Western Michigan played last week in what is known as the biggest blizzard anybody has ever played football in. And you should look that up after this. Anybody who's listening to this, look up Central Michigan versus Western Michigan football game.
And it'll definitely pull up they played in a blizzard.
Yes, because it was ridiculous. Anyways, I like the cold. This is my element.
So what you would say winter or fall is your favorite season?
I would say fall simply because the visuals of fall,
Yeah, because winter does have like the nice whitish look of the snow and the ice and all that. But yeah, the fall but the thing is with winter, all the trees are dead.
Yeah.
They look completely dead.
Especially in the green lush landscape of Louisiana. Everything dies in wintertime.
That's for true.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't snow or ice over, it's still everything dies.
I like true fall, which doesn't really happen around here because like looking around right now, it's middle of November and everything's either green or brown. There's no orange or red or anything.
It's either alive or dead. There's no middle.
There's no middle ground. Just like everything in Louisiana.
You're either way up there or way down low.
That's
There's
right,
no middle area.
We don't have a middle class.
No, we have no mid. You're either upper or lower, and that's it.
That's right. It's the way
There's a fine line. But yeah, I would probably agree. Like, I really like summer only because it's still engraved in my head that we get off summer for junior high, high school.
Yeah.
Like, I always think of summer as the vacation time. You go to the beach, you go Grand Canyon, wherever, but you can go to different places in the winter, of course, for skiing and all that kind of stuff, which it still baffles me to think. I was thinking about this the other day before we get into the chip review here. I wanted to mention that this is episode 152. That, one, I've been doing this now for 152 weeks without skipping a week.
Mm-hmm.
And two, that we talked about going on that ski trip 150 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, that's almost 3 years.
Yes, yeah, it was in January 2020, and we're in November 2022. It made me feel old because I was 20, and now I'm 23. Recording.
Man, if you could see the wrinkles through the
oh my gosh.
There.
Oh yeah. I had to get in here with somebody had to help me get in the vehicle because
this is you got the lift in the back of your vehicle.
Yeah, I got one of the slide open doors on the vans and having to get the ramp out from my wheelchair to sit in the back seat.
And I'm pressing the button on the side.
Oh, there I go. I'm going out. I'm falling out of the vehicle.
So you're a summertime man.
I like summer. I do like, the thing is, I like the cold more than the hot because I've made this comparison that, when you get hot, everybody wears like less amount of clothes. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't get like naked. Well, you could, but it's frowned upon and it's kind of illegal in a lot of places.
My thing is, you can't even get less than naked because I've been smoldering hot with nothing on before.
Exactly. That's like being butt naked in a sauna.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't take more off. You're down to basically nothing anyway.
Yeah, you're just down to your skin.
You can always put more clothes on.
That's what I was saying is like, you know, everybody's different with like, I mean, me and you are different, like, because I'm really hot-natured, and I do, like, today at work I wore a blazer coat, and then if you look on the back seat down there, there's a jean jacket that is Sherpa wolfskin on the inside. I wore it to work, and this morning it was like in the 30s, and I'm dripping sweat while under it because I'm so hot. The heat can't get out, so it's just making me sweat. And then you open the jacket, and it's like 38 degrees outside. So, like, that's why I like it, because you can go inside and just take your jacket off, and now I'm fine, you know.
Yeah. Well, that I'm like you, too. I mean, I keep the air conditioner running in my bedroom right now. It's running right now.
Because you have to fall asleep in the cold, because it's just straight up uncomfortable to fall asleep in the heat.
If you fall asleep with the heat, you're a psychopath. I hate to break the news.
Well, I know a lot of people who do that, and, like, I know different, like, women that, like, I'm pretty sure, like, my mom and my sister might even be those types of people where they won't fall asleep unless it's, like, pretty warm. But the thing is with me, if it gets to a certain point, like, the AC in my house, whenever I would go to sleep, especially during the summer, is always below 70. It has to be below 70. Like, 67, 68's a cool crisp. Anything below that, you know, it kind of gets super cold, especially. But you probably rocking like 62 or 62 something.
62 is what it's on my air conditioner.
62, 63, that's what I was going to get.
Yes.
But yeah, I did want to mention that and know that I do like the fall. I like summer just because, you know, it feels like that's when people can hang out. You know, you got more free time. It just feels like, even though we work now, it still feels like that just for some reason.
So we could be in agreement that springtime is the worst.
Yeah, because every time spring rolls around, I'm snotty, I'm dying, I have bad allergies, I'm allergic to, I feel like when spring rolls around, I'm allergic to everything.
Yeah. Nobody likes springtime. It just needs to go away.
No, like, we just need to have everything grow in the winter, and then it just, or like go from winter to summer, and everything just, just all the leaves pop back up.
I don't like springtime. Even though my birthday's in April, I still don't like it.
Well, I'm rocking my birthday, since it's on September 22nd. My birthday is on the same day as fall begins every year.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like I have that. That's how I remember.
Mine was always during the big testing week at school. That's just the
like
worst.
Midterms, finals, or
leap tests.
Oh God!
Yeah.
You'll celebrate your birthday by taking a terrible test.
I think when they started doing the leap test, which I don't know if you're listening outside of Louisiana, that's the big Louisiana standardized test that you
didn't even have that at my school. We had just the ACT.
Yeah, but you knew what it is.
Yeah, though. I do know what it is.
And what they did, I heard they originally set it up to be around the day April 11th, which is my birthday. So they coincide the leap test on the same day as good old Jaren's birthday. Like, what are the odds?
As soon as you were born, they were like, you know what? That sounds like a good day. April 11th sounds pretty good right now. But yeah. But with that out of the way, I think we can go ahead and dive into a little chip review. How do you like Pringles?
I do like Pringles. I mean...
Are you a Pringles fan?
I am a Pringles fan. I mean, the only downside I have to Pringles is that my hands are massive, and I can't get the rest of the Pringles.
Oh, true.
I gotta do.
You gotta tip it back like a can, and then that's when you get all the dust in your face, and you're like, I don't know.
Well, have you seen the technique where you get a piece of paper and you stick it in the side of it, and then you can just undo it like that?
No. But that brings up a good idea, that why doesn't Pringles have like a sleeve like saltines have?
I don't know.
A Pringles sleeve. That's what and they could sell them by like 4 sleeves in like a box.
I'll tell you why, Mr. Marketing Man. It's because Pringles hates their customers. That's right. I hope you're listening, Pringles. I just said that.
The Pringles man. This guy with the mustache is definitely listening.
Mr. Pringles man just hates his customers. That's right. I'm double down on it.
I'll tell you what. That is, well, having a degree in marketing, that is the number one rule. That
To hate your customers?
no matter what company you work for, you always just have to understand that you are going to hate your customers. That we're trying to make sure they want... Well, it's because they're never happy. They're always griping about something.
Well,
so.
Todd, that's a disappointment because I was hoping you were going to change the game, but I guess you're just going to fall right in line with the rest of them.
Well, it's hard because that's what we're taught. So they can't... I got to change the ways they teach it unless I become a marketing college teacher or something. Which would be
we're going to
different.
start with the jalapeno.
I guess we
here.
could start with the jalapeno. We got two different flavors, and the first one we're going to do is jalapeno.
Okay.
Now, you're a jalapeno guy.
I am.
I am not.
You are not. Well, let's see how this goes.
All right. And we apologize for the excessive amount of crunching, but it is Pringles, so you will understand. Good Lord. Is that close to jalapenos? Oh, God almighty.
I like it.
Oh, I need something to drink now.
I'm eating another one.
I'm not. Oh. Okay, I'm good. I'm more like, and I've said this before, and you already know where I'm going. That I've always asked people this because there's always two different kinds of people. Are you more into sour or more into spicy? And
Spicy.
I'm sour.
I'm definitely spicy. Like, I cannot do warheads. Like, my body rejects
What about like
warheads.
Sour Patch Kids?
No.
Sour Skittles?
I don't do any of them. Anything with the word sour, I don't do.
But if it says spicy, you'll try it.
I'll try.
Like, especially jalapeno or like ghost pepper type stuff and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge ghost pepper fan because they don't taste like anything. They're just hot.
Oh, yeah, that's just pure heat.
Yeah, like jalapeno, there's a flavor profile there.
Yeah, and it's like jalapeno down.
Yeah.
Like, because you get into the bell pepper and the banana pepper region and all that.
Yeah.
That's my problem with a lot of hot stuff with like buffalo and anything hotter than that. Mm-hmm. Is that I can't get any flavor from the wings or whatever is on the salt with the sauce.
Yeah.
Because it's just burning me alive.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But I guess that's your problem with sour. You only taste sour.
I only taste sour. I don't taste any flavor at all. It's just
You
sour.
don't taste any fruitiness or whatever.
No,
Like one of my favorite candies is the Sour Patch watermelons. Mm-hmm. God, they're so good. But yeah, I can handle, like, I would rather eat a warhead than do anything spicy.
Really? That's crazy, because I'm the exact opposite.
You'd rather eat, like some really hot peppers.
Like plutonium hot sauce.
Before you even try a warhead.
Yeah. The last time I had a warhead, I thought I was going to die. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you eat too many warheads, that the inside of your mouth will just peel off the skin on the inside because you're literally rotting it away because it's so... It's all that malic acid that the sour is made out of. Yeah. But with these, on the scale of 0 to 100 with no decimals, where would you rate this on your official scale?
Scale of what? Just snacks or Pringles or?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Okay, well, what are you going to rate yours on?
I can go ahead and think about my score.
Because I need to have a basis of
overall,
what I'm ranking it compared to.
It's a Pringles chip. It's good crunch. It doesn't taste bad. It's just not personally my thing. Mm-hmm. I would probably give this I'm going to go low. I'm going to go 68.
68?
Only because it's not bad, but I don't want it again.
Yeah.
The 60s, like for me, like 50s to 60s it's okay. I don't want it again. And 70s is like, it's okay and I would get it again. 80s and up is like, it's really good and I'm going to go buy some more.
That's pretty generous because, like, what's like 50 and below? That's a big area.
Everything below 50 is stuff I've spit out.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to be a little more, I'm going to give the exact same rating as you, but give a different explanation.
Okay.
Because, there's not many things I wouldn't spit out anyways, so. It's basically sour and that's it.
It's all those like gross drinks that we've had before.
Yeah.
Like the unicorn poop or whatever it was, and that or alien pee or whatever it was, and that kind of stuff that just is like 8 different fruits mixed together. That's just like a bad concoction. That's what I would spit out. But
my 68 here, I'm basing it on, if I'm going to the gas station, I'm not going to pick this out. Not because it's just bad, but there's better stuff at the gas station. That's right, Pringles. I'm still dissing you.
So, like, it would be one of those things where you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, I remember having that, and then keep walking.
Well, I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to give it like a 74.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm thinking about it now. Like, if my friend just opens a thing of those, I'll ask if I can have some. Or if he offers them, I'll take some.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, no, I don't like those. Because they're not that bad to me. So
Yeah, and I've made that same comparison too, where it's like, it's okay, I wouldn't buy them again, but I would eat them if somebody bought them for me.
Yeah.
It's that kind of situation. It's that middle area.
Yeah.
But that's an average of 71, which sounds like a good score. But the next one I have high hopes for, a classic in the Pringles world that I don't think I've ever had, is barbecue Pringles.
You've never had barbecue
I don't
Pringles?
think I've ever had barbecue Pringles. So this is like a moment in the making.
Wow. That's insane.
Let's tip that. And are you a barbecue chip fan?
I am.
Like barbecue Lays and all that's what you would go to? Like if you were having like a not
barbecue.
Yeah. I mean, like if you were having like a sandwich or something and they didn't have fries and they had chips offered.
Well, my first option is always going to be the sour cream and cheddar Ruffles. Those are the best things ever.
Okay.
But behind that, it's probably going to be some kind of barbecue.
Whatever barbecue chips they have, whether it's like barbecue Lays, they have barbecue Fritos,
My favorite,
whatever baked chips.
My favorite barbecue is the Twisted Fritos honey barbecue.
The twisted ones that
Those are
look like
so
noodles.
good because it's a different flavor from the other barbecue Fritos. It's like honey barbecue versus regular barbecue.
They must be good because I keep eating them.
Yeah, these Pringles, as far as barbecue goes, these are middle of the pack.
They're not really strong.
That's not a strong barbecue flavor.
No.
If it was just more flavoring, it'd be really good.
They just put some dust on it. And
Yeah.
It's like it's got that orange tint to it.
Like, for instance, it looks almost identical to the jalapeno Pringles, and that's not a good thing. That's right, Pringles.
But
I'm still going.
But they have no connection ever. Like they're not even close to flavor, even though they look exactly the same.
Yeah. You get sort of this sweetness with the...
It is good. Like it's not. It's a sweet barbecue, like you said. It's not really like that smoky flavor that you kind of get.
So, out of 100...
I'm putting this higher than the jalapeno.
Yeah, it's got to go above the jalapeno for me, too. So, I'm going to give it a 79.
Oh, wow. The funny thing was, I was going to give it a 78. Because I think we're in the same... I mean, we are in the same ballpark here, where we agree that they're pretty good.
But as far as barbecue stuff goes, it's not the best.
Yeah, like, there's definitely barbecue chips. Like you said, those twisty chips are probably close to 90 or higher for you. Like, because that's your go-to. Like, if you had to make a meal and you could choose any chips in the world, that's going to be one of the top. Or the top. You know, well, like you said, sour cream and cheddar Ruffles.
That's a close battle right there.
Your top barbecue chips are definitely going to be those the Frito Twisties.
Absolutely. And then for me, there's probably a few in between the Twisted Fritos and these.
Well, like there's those baked Lays or other baked chips that are barbecue.
I'm not a fan of those personally.
You're not a baked chip guy?
No. It's chips. You're not trying to be healthy. Come on. Stop fooling people.
But it's potatoes.
But, yeah, probably the second place as far as barbecue goes for me is going to be those kettle-cooked barbecue chips. I like the kettle-cooked
Okay.
stuff.
I do remember that. You are a kettle-cooked person. I remember when we went to Corpus Christi and we got those, like, kettle chips that were the salt and pepper ones.
Those are my favorite.
God.
It's so simple, but it's so good.
Yeah, like, literally. And, like, it's not even, like, a specific flavor of chip.
It's just salt and pepper.
It's just a chip that you just put a crap ton of salt and pepper on.
It's so good.
And
I'm glad you like those, too. Those are one of my favorites.
I still remember those. Like, I don't remember the brand. Is it Kettle? Is that the brand?
It's either Kettle or it's like Cape Cod or something.
I think that is Cape Cod. Okay, I gotta find them because I remember having them.
Those
And
are so
for some
good.
out of that whole week trip, that's one of the core things I remember was going to Whataburger like almost every other day and eating salt and pepper
Did you know
chips.
Whataburger was originated
in Corpus Christi.
Did you know that?
Did you know
But yes.
that I want a garage gym?
So you're going with 78?
78, you gave it a 79. That's a 78 and a half. The decimals are allowed in averages. It's okay.
Good math there.
78 and a half. Yeah. So, Pringles, I almost said Lay's. Barbecue Pringles at a 78.5 and jalapeno at a 71. Now, continuing with food, to go even further in the food lore.
Yes.
I did want to ask you this question that I did actually ask John the last time he was on. We also talked about a lot of culinary stuff, like with eggs as well, but we'll get into eggs in a minute as well.
Okay.
I did want to ask you this question that I was actually asked by a listener, and then I asked John, and I want to get your opinion, because all three of us are very much food enjoyers. Mm-hmm. We could probably, all three of us could definitely be the three judges on like a Master Chef or something type Food
it's
Network.
raw!
On a Food Network show. Yeah, you can be the Gordon Ramsay of us.
So what you got?
But the question is one of those Instagram, one has to go.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've heard this, but I wanted to ask you this, and it is meat related.
Okay.
One of these has to go for the rest of your life. You cannot have this type of meat. Shrimp, steak, ribs, or fried chicken.
Now let's do some process of elimination here.
Okay, so what's your number one?
Fried chicken is not going anywhere.
Because because that means you'd have to give up Popeyes, Cane's, Zaxby's.
Yeah.
That's it. Fried chicken is the most available.
If it was just Popeyes, I'd be giving up. That's still not worth it.
Oh, that's true. Steak, shrimp, ribs, Popeyes. But yeah, fried chicken is too readily available.
Yeah.
So like that's really hard to get rid of.
I'm gonna have to go with ribs myself because man, I love me some ribs. But out of all those, like some good fried shrimp, like that's just I can't.
And how can you beat just a regular steak?
Yeah, like steak's out of question. That's not going anywhere either.
Yeah, and then it was down to what? Shrimp and ribs.
And
that sounds like a good meal right there, honestly. Shrimp and ribs.
Shrimp and ribs instead of shrimp and grits. Shrimp and ribs.
Shrimp and ribs, and a side of like grits.
But that's really a toss up. Like I love ribs, and I love shrimp, but it's between those two because steak and fried chicken, they're not going anywhere.
No. I always did this is that since it was kind of a toss up for me too, because you look at these four and say, which one do I eat the least often?
Yeah.
Ribs.
That was my deal there. Like, I like ribs, but
really, when's the last time I had a rack of ribs?
Yeah.
You know, like the ribs I usually would eat often are from Chili's.
Yeah.
You know, like, and
they have good ribs.
Yeah, they're good.
They have a whole song about them.
But
I want my baby back, baby.
But they're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agreed with you.
Yeah. That
ribs were the least eaten for me. But John had a different answer because he is now allergic to shrimp, so he had to get rid of shrimp.
Oh man.
He said he wasn't. He is a fan of I think he said he liked seafood, but shrimp. But he's like, it's just shrimp. He's not allergic to all shellfish. Like he's had crawfish and he didn't have a problem. But he said he ate like a shrimp one time and his throat started closing up or something. So he's like, it's some protein or something that's only in the shrimp that he can have.
I have one food allergy. You want to guess what it is?
Peanuts.
Nope.
Hold on. Is it shellfish?
It's rare. I only know one other person with this allergy.
Hold on. Do I eat the food often?
Nobody eats this food often.
What?
You're not going to get this.
Nobody eats this food often.
It's eggplant. I'm allergic to eggplant.
You're allergic to eggplant?
Yeah.
Who eats eggplant?
Exactly.
You know the meme and the emoji, and you know what an eggplant... I've seen eggplant.
You pulled out the emoji. You just had to go there, didn't you?
You know, and I've seen eggplant on the shelf at Walmart.
Yep.
But who actually eats eggplant? I mean, you can't.
I like the taste of it.
What happens if you eat it?
I get really big bumps on my tongue.
Oh, so like your tongue, it's almost like your tongue breaks out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that's got to hurt.
The only other person I know with it, too, is my mother. So.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But have you always had it? Or did it just start showing up when you got older?
Well, we always shied away from it.
Because she's
Because she's allergic to it. And when I finally just had the chance to eat it, I discovered it then. I was probably like 10 years old when it happened, though.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
It wasn't that bad. It's a mild
It's not like
allergy.
a peanut allergy.
Like, for instance, Mom eats it sometimes. And she has the same reaction I do. You just...
Get over it.
Say, like, you ever seen, like, how they do an eggplant? Like, it looks like a fried green tomato, how they do it?
Like the slices of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense, really, when you do the eggplant. But sliced eggplant, like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she would eat, like, one piece of that, and she would feel it on her tongue, but it wouldn't be enough to cause anything.
She doesn't have to be, like, rushed to the ER from taking one bite of eggplant or whatever. Okay. And you're the same way. Where
I'm the same way. I can have minor amounts of it, but I can't, like, have a...
Eggplant mainly dish or whatever like that. Okay.
Like eggplant parmesan from an Italian restaurant. I can't do that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Ribs. They're good. Yeah, that's what we were first talking about.
Ribs are good, but not good enough to...
Ribs don't compare to steak, shrimp, and fried chicken.
That's right.
That is really like the trifecta of the meats, in my opinion. Like fish, yeah. Mm-hmm. But in this situation, those were the four choices, and we both agreed definitely that ribs are out for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
It is kind of sad, but...
If it was pork in general...
Yeah.
It'd be different. It'd be shrimp for sure, because bacon is just... It's bacon.
That is true. But ribs specifically...
They're out.
We can't get rid of... We got to get rid of that. I did want to mention to you about the restaurants coming to Monroe and West Monroe. There are two...
Oh, I think I know some of these. You want to go first, or you want me to try?
There is a fourth one, but it's not really a restaurant.
Yeah.
But there are three.
Okay.
Two are in Monroe and one's in West Monroe.
Is one of them Bojangles?
Yeah.
Because that's already opened.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a Freddy's coming. I don't know if you heard about that.
That's in West Monroe.
And I don't know the
Do you know
one.
what Freddy's is taking the place of?
What's that?
Slim Chickens.
Wow.
They're moving, or they're closed.
Slim Chickens closing?
I think so.
Wow.
I don't think... Did you eat Slim Chickens?
Yeah, a good bit. My girlfriend despises Slim Chickens. That's neither here nor there.
Because I know people that are like, they love Slim Chickens, and apparently they have like a lot of good sauces, apparently. I never have been to a Slim Chickens.
Slim Chickens is a big Texas thing. There's a bunch of them in Texas.
Okay, because I've seen a couple of them in Arkansas, so I guess it's just Texas and Southern.
Yeah.
So Slim Chickens came with Whataburger.
Yeah. So what, is there a Whataburger going to West Monroe? I've heard something about that.
I don't know.
But that's not what you were talking
The
about.
fourth place I was mentioning at first was Nothing Bunt is moving close to... Nothing Bunt Cakes is next to Small Cakes. They're across the road.
They're going next to Small Cakes?
Not right next to it, but it's like across the road. There's like a jewelry place, I think, not too far from that, like nicer looking Johnny's.
Oh, so they're doing like the CVS Walgreens thing.
Yes, they're gonna. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, CVS and Walgreens are now Small Cakes and Nothing But. But
so that what was the
Checkers?
Checkers. I like Checkers.
Checkers and Rallies. It's right over there.
Is it open?
Not yet.
Okay.
They haven't finished the inside.
Have you been to Bojangles yet?
I haven't been to Bojangles ever. And I've heard it's good. Well, I've heard it was East Coast Popeyes.
It is.
Because it's exactly fried chicken biscuit and the biscuit.
It's from North Carolina.
Exactly. That's why I knew that it was like Southern, but they're not Southern. But they're still considered Southern because they're like hillbilly.
Yeah.
And we're redneck.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Big difference there.
Exactly. It is a big difference. And that's the Bojangles and Popeyes. There's your difference right there.
Well, Popeyes is more like a Cajun thing there anyways. So.
Exactly. And their seasoning, their sauce. I personally, the best sauce. One of my top 5 restaurant sauces of all time is from Popeyes. And it's the Black and Ranch.
Black and Ranch. That's my favorite too. I love
God, so good. Like I need to do like a fast food restaurant sauce tier list.
I would empty this Pringles can because Pringles, I'm still coming at you, and fill it up with Black and Ranch and drink it.
I was gonna say take some shots of Black and Ranch, not do like a 12-ounce thing of.
I don't know.
This says 2.5 ounces is the net weight. How big is the can?
They probably don't say.
It's 2.5 servings.
It's not the long cans. It's the half cans.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's the short. They're called the grab and go cans of Pringles. But yeah, this is like a nice cup size of Black and Ranch.
But I agree with you. The Black and Ranch is
So good. Like they have buttermilk ranch, but it just tastes like
who would get that?
It tastes like regular ranch, but it's pretty basic.
Why would you get that when there's Black and Ranch?
Yeah, and the Black and Ranch is like that nice orangey color, kind of competing with like Cane's and Zach's sauce because it's the orange. Like all the sauces that are orange are really good.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah.
See, I like Freddy's fry sauce.
Popeyes. I get the spicy sandwich with no pickles because pickles are disgusting.
Thank you. Agreed.
And he put honey on it, which kills all the heat in the spicy mayonnaise.
Then why don't you just eat a regular?
Because it's still got the flavoring of it. Like with the jalapeno chips, jalapenos have a distinct flavor along with the spice.
Is the spicy chicken sandwich up there on spice for you? Like, is it pretty spicy for you?
It's pretty spicy.
Like, they put some heat in there.
They put some heat in that thing. That ain't no joke.
That's true. Like, I've had it once, and I'm pretty sure I was sweating from sitting inside too often.
What you do is you get the honey, and it kills most of the heat in that sandwich.
So you're having a hot honey Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Popeye's chicken sandwich. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Give it a try.
Okay. Do I swipe out the spicy mayo?
No.
I don't like mayo, though.
If you don't like mayo, then that's a different story.
I'll just do honey only.
Well, the spicy sandwich, they don't have... The chicken isn't spicy.
I thought the chicken was spicy originally.
Oh, is it?
I think it is.
You got it without the mayonnaise, so you
when you bite into the chicken, it has the orange going in it. So because it's the same thing as the spicy tenders.
Okay.
Well, they inject it in there.
Do that with the honey.
Just honey only.
Yeah.
No mayo, no pickles.
Yeah.
Because pickles are definitely gross. Because I think pickles probably would do that, but...
Pickles, you're more gross than Pringles.
Well, especially Chick-fil-A's pickles. I almost said Chick-fil-A's Pringles. Especially Chick-fil-A's pickles because... I don't know what they do to them things. Them things are on steroids or whatever because...
They're extra pickles.
You take them off the sandwich and I put them in the bag... And this has happened more than once to me. And I put them in the bag and let the bag still sit there. And I'm eating the sandwich and the fries. And then I get done with all the food. And I put it in the bag. And I pick up the bag. There's a piece of the bag stuck to the table because the pickles were so wet. And then when I picked it up and they have a weight to it. Because it's not a lot. Because there's a little weight to it. But when you pick it up, it would break. Now there's a hole in the bottom. And then just a pickly... piece of paper stuck to the table. And that's what happened. That's what's happened to me before. But yeah, I understand the same thing where it's like if I take a bite of a sandwich and there's pickles in it, but I didn't get pickles in the bite, I can still taste the pickles. Yep. That's just like I just said about Chick-fil-A. Their pickles like soak into the bun.
Yeah.
But it's on the bottom bun.
It's because they don't toast their bun enough. That's why it soaks into the bread.
Because it gets kind of soggy.
Yeah.
A little sog in there.
If you toast your bun, it's not going to absorb a lot of that moisture because it's got that layer on the outside. There's some food science.
It's that the crisp, crunchy, not burnt, but
like,
it's the...
If you ever want, like if you... Anytime you just want to take the sauce off of anything, make sure you get it extra toasted because it's a whole lot easier to get all the sauce, like mayonnaise, anything.
Yeah, because you can just scrape it off without having to cut it off.
It's not going to go into the bread nearly as much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
You know your stuff. You know you're the culinary guy.
I got you.
You know this stuff.
I got you.
So you've been to Bojangles.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I have not been to Bojangles.
Okay.
I've just heard about it.
Well, we got to go to Bojangles.
Let's do it.
Checkers.
I've never been to Checkers.
Their fries are seasoned.
Yes.
That's what they're known for.
Yeah.
But we have one. It's drive-through only. There's no inside. It's right over there by Rocket Fast.
Yeah.
that gas station's still there, and I don't know why they tore it down because it's an old gas station. And then where they had the pumps, that's where they put Checkers. So it's a drive-through only, but it is like Eskimos where you can walk up to the board.
Yeah.
Freddy's.
I like Freddy's. Have you had Freddy's?
God, yes. I thought that was an Arkansas only thing. I thought that's where they were originally from.
It probably.
I think it is because it was like the guy who started it was in like World War II and then came home and started Freddy's. The same is, I feel like that's the same for every restaurant. Like this guy came home from World War II, didn't know what he wanted to do, so he liked food, so he started a restaurant. I've had the fry sauce. I've bought it by the bottle.
Really?
Because their fry sauce, what is their fry sauce? It's like ketchup, mayo.
It's close to Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, it's ketchup, mayo, and pickle juice. Like, I know, like, we don't like pickles, but you don't taste the pickles.
It adds to it with stuff like that. Just like chicken salad. You got to have the relish in chicken salad.
Yeah.
This just makes it better. But, yeah.
I
I do like me some Freddy's. I like
that patty melt.
Oh, my gosh. They don't disappoint, man.
Oh, Freddy's is so good. And then I was like, who was I don't even remember who I was talking with. I think I was talking with a family member or somebody, and I was telling them about Freddy's, and they were like, well, it's not down here. And I'm like,
not yet.
Well, exactly. Well, actually. But it's either taking Slim Chicken's place or it's going to be next door.
Okay.
So, but the thing, I saw this post, and it was like, in West Monroe, Slim Chickens now had a sign put over it, and it said, Freddy's coming soon. Freddy's steak burgers and custards coming soon. I've never tried their custard, honestly. I do know they have one that's called Dirt and Worms, which is like, is it like Oreo crumbs with gummy worms?
Yeah.
So
that's good.
I definitely have to try it.
Eskimos have something like that too.
Well, yeah, I feel like a lot of places have the gummy worm type thing now. Yeah. So next off, I want to talk about eggs.
Okay.
Now, if you were to go home right now and cook something that had egg in it, what would you do?
Like egg as the main focus?
Yes. Like, well, first off, I'd like to ask this question before we get to that. When you think of eggs, like whether it's breakfast, it doesn't have to be it can be any time of day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. Midnight, I don't care. And you want an egg. What is your go-to method of egg that you would like to eat?
How do I achieve egg?
I'm talking like sunny side up, scrambled, omelet.
I like a runny yolk myself. I like it. If I'm at a restaurant, I get it like medium. Medium is how I get it. And it's
because you like the yellow runny.
Yeah, but I like it a little firm, but it's still running out.
But not like full of water.
Yeah. But I don't do that.
You don't want it raw.
I don't do that at home because I trust the cook more than I trust myself with that.
Oh, true.
So I just cook it all the way through, and I go with the fried egg with the busted yolk and just cook it until it's done all the way through.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Either that or I'll boil an egg.
I like boiled eggs?
I do. I boiled eggs, cut it in half, salt and pepper. That's simple. I'm a salt and pepper kind of guy.
I definitely, I put salt and pepper on burgers sometimes because it's just like, this hamburger needs seasoning.
Yeah.
Because everything needs seasoning.
We're really showing our whiteness right now.
Hey, it needs salt and pepper. But the reason I asked, like, the way you like your eggs and all that, because I don't know if I've told you this. I told John, but my parents were on vacation for a little while, and I wanted to mention this to you about a meal that I cooked for myself.
All right,
now, I am not that much of a cook.
Okay.
You probably know this. I'm not like, if it comes out of a box, I can make it. Mm-hmm. But if it's like, I don't have the ability that people have where you can just look in the cabinets and say, okay, I have this, and this. I'm going to make this. Mm-hmm. Like you probably do.
I do that all the time.
Exactly.
I prefer to do it that way.
I cannot. I have to follow a recipe because I don't know how much I need to put of this.
Yeah.
And if I eyeball it, then it's going to be either way too much or way too little. There's no middle. It's the same thing in Louisiana. There's no middle.
Like, for instance, when I do like a box cake mix or anything, I add all kinds of stuff to it just because.
Because you're like, this will make it better here, and throw something in there.
Yeah. That's just how I roll. So what'd you make?
So, I cooked something, no recipe. I was like, you know what? I want to make something. I was like, I want meat as the main thing. Mm-hmm. And I wanted a side.
It wasn't ribs, was it?
No, it was air-fried pork loin.
Okay.
It was 2, like the 4-pack you get.
Pork loin does good in the air fryer.
The 4-pack you can get at Walmart.
Yeah.
I did 2 of those. I put, house seasoning. Mm-hmm. It was basically steak seasoning, but I was like, this is pretty good. And I put salt and pepper and some steak seasoning, and I air fried it. I do know that there is a problem that I have because I cooked my side first.
Yeah.
And I didn't know which to cook first because I knew the air fryer. I was like, oh, this is going to take like 10 minutes. I'll do that during. And I was like, God, I wish somebody else was here because I was like, I'm having trouble trying to do this, not burn this while I put this in the air fryer. Yeah. And my side, I couldn't find any fries.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it, I can't have pork loin and fries. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have my side as an egg.
Okay.
And I did scrambled eggs which my scramble, as in it was big chunks. It wasn't little. I did 2 eggs. I mixed them together in a little mixing bowl thing, poured it in there, and then I scrambled it. Yeah. And then I did microwave bacon. Yeah. I chopped it up. And then I did some Colby Jack shredded cheese, and so my dinner that night was 2 pieces of air fried pork loin with a side of cheese and bacon scrambled eggs.
All right,
pretty good. It was good. It was cooked all the way.
It's an interesting combination, but
that's what I was what I was getting to, is that when you think of eggs, anything can go with anything because it's up to you if you're cooking. But when you think of that, you don't really think of, eggs like it's a breakfast thing going with a big meal, but you don't really think of it being like a side. Yeah. Like, egg being the main part. Like, of course, you got your little bits of fried egg and your hibachi or whatever with your fried rice and stuff.
That could work, yeah. But, nobody ever does that, but why not?
What do you think of my meal?
I like it. I was going to tell you how I do a pork loin.
Okay.
You're getting, the long pork loins, right? Like, they're about that big around.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is that what you had?
No, the ones I had was the sliced in a 4-pack.
Oh, okay.
That's that you get on a piece of on the little
basically
black,
a pork chop
styrofoam that the steak would come on. Yeah, basically that. It was 4 pork chops is what they were, not loin.
Okay. Well, what I like to do with a pork loin is I get the long one, the long skinny looking one.
Yeah.
And I cut it in half like butterfly. I don't cut it all the way through, but to where you can open it up.
Halfway through, you can open it like a book.
Yeah. And I do it like that, and then I put the, what is it called? The...
Seasoning?
No. It's...
Sauce?
Onion soup. No.
French onion soup?
French onion dip.
Okay.
The French onion dip. I put a whole bunch of that in between there, then close it back up and put it in the air fryer. It's awesome.
So you're having a French onion stuffed pork loin.
Stuffed pork loin.
God. See, this is why I don't cook. Because I'm like, I did this, did this, and then you're like, well, I did this.
And then tell me your technique for your eggs. Was it in a nonstick pan?
Yes.
Okay, so
I did know that.
It had the coating,
Yes.
Okay,
it had
so
an orange handle.
What did you use for a utensil? Did you use a metal?
I used a fork.
A metal fork.
I used a fork to mix it up because I couldn't find a whisk.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll use a fork to mix it up because, it's pronged.
Yeah.
And so I mixed it up, but my thing to actually flip it was it wasn't metal.
Good.
It was one of those spatulas, but not your regular kind of spatula. That's the handle that goes down and bends up.
Yeah.
It was one that was just straight all the way that had the little holes in it.
Yeah. Well, what I'll use for eggs on a nonstick is a plastic fork, like the cutlery you get at a cafeteria. Those are perfect for making scrambled eggs in a nonstick thing, and it's so simple. It's so easy to get your hands on because you just keep whisking it while you're cooking it, basically, and it makes it really small. Curds is what they're called, the little bitty bits that makes them so small, makes it creamy.
See, that was the problem I had.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't mix it while I was cooking. So I made an omelet.
Yeah.
And then I had to cut it in little pieces, and I was like, and I ended up having basically a scrambled omelet.
Yeah. And make sure you put your cheese in right at the end. It barely
Okay, that was also the problem. I put it on the plate, And my problem was, by the time I had the egg done, I hadn't had the pork chops in the air fryer yet. And then
timing, that's probably the hardest thing for any cook to get down.
I told my mom that, and she's like, well, if you have eggs with any meal, your eggs are the last thing you cook.
Yeah, eggs are really
because
bad.
They're so, like, put it in there, okay, it's ready, you know, like that kind of
much,
situation. But I told them that, and I was like, I made something.
I'll make you that pork one day.
You got to make this French onion stuffed pork loin, because now I'm interested about
It's so good.
Like especially if I was watching you or watching anybody, like especially those like Food Network people, I'm watching people and I'm like, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, and you're not even looking at a piece of paper. Like, half the time when I'm cooking, I'm having to look at my phone, like having to Google what's the best thing for this.
Most of it is just basic principles that you stick to with everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you're cooking anything in a pan, you start with a fat, like an oil or butter or anything similar to that. It can be coconut oil, canola oil.
I did butter with my eggs. I did butter first.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Because I was like, do I spray the thing with Pam? But it's a non-stick pan already. And I was like,
you got to put something in there.
Yeah, I was like, because I looked it up, I was like, what's the best thing to put in here? And it was butter.
Yeah.
So I did like a little slice of butter. And I did the thing where I moved it around. Moved it around. I did that. I moved it around to every bit of the pan.
If you guys could see his hand right now, it's just...
I moved it around. I did the thing with the spatula too, so I had a buttery spatula then.
Good job.
It's the same thing with like people cooking steaks and always makes that puddle of stuff and you tip it and then you get a spoon and dip the juice back onto the meat, you know?
Yeah, it's called basting.
Okay, let's not get technical about it.
But yeah, you start with a fat, and then you usually, if you're wanting to put like vegetables in it, like if you want an omelet with onions or something in them, you do those next. You get them cooked down a little bit, and then you put the protein in, which would be eggs in that instance, or if you want like cubes of steak or chicken or anything, you go fat, vegetable, protein.
Okay.
And then cheese after that. That's always the order. Cheese.
Oh, yeah, because if you do cheese at any other point, it's going to melt and then get stuck or not be good or whatever.
Well, it's that, and also most cheeses, if it's like an aged cheese, if it cooks for too long, it separates into fat and a hardened cheese, and it's not that great because it lets off a not so great tasting fat when it does that. Like the protein in cheese, because cheese has protein, it contracts, and when it does that, it releases all of the fat that's supposed to be inside of the cheese. So you want to put that on with no heat most of the time, especially with eggs. You don't make sure you cut the heat off before you put the cheese in.
Okay, I did not do that.
Okay.
I plated the egg and then put the cheese on
that sounds
there.
really interesting. I'm not like discrediting everything you're doing. I'm just saying, like, I like to talk about food. This is my wheelhouse. This is my favorite.
Well, I like talking about food. It's just I like talking about eating the food and not making the food.
I like both.
making the food is, I will say this, culinary and cooking is a science.
Yeah.
It is a full science.
Yeah.
Like that is a full, like they got to teach that in a science college, because cooking, home ec, anything like that, when you cook stuff, I do not understand a lot of it. Like I took home ec and I learned how to make a pancake and how to make cookies and put them on, like separate them far enough that way when they flatten out they don't, get all big one cookie, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I will say that like yourself and people who can just look in a cabinet and be like, okay, I'm going to make this, I'm going to put this seasoning on it, and I'll have this sauce with it, and this will be my side. That is a gift, because I cannot, I could learn, and I have looked through, and I'm like, guess I'm going to Sonic. It's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm so lost, It's like I'm in the wilderness, because I literally have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, but there is a dish I wanted to mention that I will probably end up cooking soon that I just because I really want it,
Yeah.
And it's a bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like your regular casserole, but it's tater tots is the main part that's all in it together. And you just have cheeseburger and bacon and then some cheese and other stuff.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah. Make it like a lasagna pan.
We'll do like a potluck. You make that, and I'll make the pork loin, and we'll go with that.
God, it's going to be so much food. I'm putting it in like a lasagna pan. like really like long pan, you know. So we're going to have French onion stuffed pork loin with bacon cheeseburger tater tot casserole.
Yes.
That sounds like a great Thanksgiving dinner to me, honestly. So, but yeah, I wanted to mention that real quick, and that's really kind of it, honestly. It's a one of the shorter episodes we've done.
Yeah.
We are both busy with jobs and other things, so always great to talk about food.
Yeah.
And review some Pringles. So
I'm coming at you, Pringles.
you're still coming at Pringles for some reason because of the cans and all that.
You and your terrorist mustache. You look like Joseph Stalin.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's who the Pringles man is. Stalin is the Pringles man, apparently.
Wait, no. Who was the Italian one? That was
Mussolini.
Benito Mussolini.
Yeah,
that's who this is.
Mussolini, who was kind of forced to work with Hitler.
Anyways, that's for another podcast.
Save that for another time in 10 more weeks in like February or something. So Jaron, nice having you on again, of course.
Yeah.
Next time we'll definitely have to try this stuffed pork loin and the tater tot casserole.
Yeah.
Both of them sound really good.
They do.
If I'm in charge of one of them, I'm most likely just going to bring you a pan of loose tater tots from Sonic, and that's it. Nothing else. I'm going to probably cut up some microwave bacon and then put one Big Mac in the center of it, and that's your cheeseburger. Nope, not a Big Mac, a quarter pounder. So,
well, I appreciate the thought of getting a quarter pounder
instead of the Big Mac. So, anything you want to add?
I'm hungry. That's all I got.
I am also hungry. We're going to go have some dinner. He's not cooking me the pork loin, so we're not having dinner together.
Man.
Dang it.
Maybe
I got to go
time.
have some Bojangles. So, Jaron, nice having you on again, of course.
Yeah, as always.
And I will see you again in the future.
All right.
So, thank y'all for listening, and thank you for being here, Jaron.
All right.